私は日本が大好きです。こんにちは、クララです。スペインから来ました。よろしくお願いします。I came to Japan in September of 2024 to start my undergraduate studies at Waseda. 私の専門はコンピューターサイエンスです。と、私の趣味はサッカーと回転寿司です。I was around 13 years old and one of my friends, she was really into Japan and its culture and she'd already gone to Tokyo, so she actually introduced me to Japan and Naruto, and she also gave me the Naruto PlayStation game, and from there I fell in love with the culture, the food, just the way how like Japan is so different from everything I've previously seen before because I'm Spanish and Japan has nothing to do with Spain, and I've also lived in 3 different African countries and Japan is completely different, so I was very interested and intrigued by Japan. My first image of Japan would be like very futuristic, very organized, very creative. Yeah, I just when I was smaller, one of the main things that drew me to Japan was like manga and anime. Even if it sounds very cliche, it's true. And I just thought that, yeah, because I've always liked watching those things since I was very small, so I was very interested. I learned about Japan when I was 13 and I actually first stepped foot into Japan when I was 18 to start my university studies, and during that period of time I just kept watching anime. I just kept learning more about Japanese culture. I learned katakana, hiragana, and I was just working hard in my I was working hard in my high school studies so that I could get good grades to apply to Japanese universities. I wanted to study computer science, and then I saw that Waseda had an English program because my Japanese is not that good, so I applied and I got in. Because it was a lifelong dream of mine, and as I mentioned previously, I lived abroad in 3 different African countries, so I didn't want to stay living in my parents' house. You know, the world is so big and there's just so much to explore, and Waseda University accepting me gave me that opportunity. So yeah, it was just a dream of mine, and I finally could achieve it, so I didn't hesitate in coming here. It was a lot of cultural shock at the beginning because it's very different, not even just from Spain, from Europe, but I really liked how organized everything was, how tidy the metros, people were very polite, making lines, everything so well explained, nothing like in Spain. In Spain, sometimes things are a little bit chaotic, so my first impression of Japan was a very good one, and it felt so nice to just be surrounded by Japanese people, hearing people speak Japanese so far away. It's like halfway across the globe from my house. I was just very happy and very excited when I first landed in Narita Airport. Yes, I was very shocked about that. So many buttons, so big, so many things I had never even seen before, and I've only seen like toilets with like a flush button. In Japan, you have the toilet is basically its own technological entity in itself. I was flabbergasted, to say the least, but I very much like Japanese toilets. Whenever I go back to Spain, I don't like it, especially the people in Spain. I would like to say more open, like you can just strike up a conversation in the middle of the street. I think in Japan people tend to be a little bit shyer, and maybe it's a little bit harder to make Japanese friends specifically. I struggled with that a little bit at the beginning, but it's okay. Every culture has its own way of being, its own people, so there's nothing wrong with that. The most surprising point, I would say, was how organized it is, and also the architecture of Japan, like just the way the buildings are, the streets, also the way you drive your cars, it's on the other way around. So in Spain you drive on the right side, in Japan you drive on the left side. That took a little bit of time to get used to because I go to university by jitensha, by bike, so I had to be a little bit careful at the beginning. So many more things, just the trains, how efficient they are, how also a little bit different because it's also a little bit more expensive, I would say, than in Spain. Also, of course, the food, we cannot forget the food. Like, I think one of the first things I ate when I came to Japan was sashimi, and yeah, it's one of my favorite foods actually. Japanese food I had eaten in Spain before coming here was ramen and some sushi, but the sushi there isn't like Japanese sushi. It's like, we can just say like westernized sushi, and the ramen isn't authentic. That was the only Japanese food I had tried before coming to Japan, and now whenever I go back to Spain, I really do miss Japanese food. It's unparalleled, I think. It's For me, it's one of my favorite cuisines in the entire world, I would say. Very healthy, very flavorful, just very unique. My Waseda University life is busy. Waseda University it's difficult, especially studying engineering. It's not easy. I have lots of classes. My classes are very difficult. But I would say my most challenging aspect would be, since I'm living here by myself, I live in a dorm. I live in a Waseda International Student House. The most difficult part of being a student here is just living by myself, taking care of everything by myself, going to banks by myself, city wards, just being here alone is the hardest part, one of the most challenging parts, but I'd say it's also the most, so far I would say I very much enjoy my student life here in Japan. When I first came, I only knew how to write hiragana and katakana and like some basic words like konnichiwa or arigatou gozaimasu. It was very difficult, but I made it. Obviously take some classes at university, but unfortunately, since I'm in engineering, I don't get to take that many Japanese classes, so I mostly learn Japanese at my baito. I work as a waitress, and there is where I learn most of my Japanese. But I also want to, when summer vacation or spring vacation, I want to go to a Japanese summer school to really improve my skills and also learn kanji, because kanji is very difficult. Yeah, now I'm learning a little bit of kanji, conversation, and yeah, but I want to do more intensive work outside of my university to really become jozu in Japanese. The thing is, I like Japanese a lot. I think it's a very beautiful language. So even if it's hard, I still find enjoyment in learning it. I mean, obviously, because starting from the fact that it has a different alphabet, it doesn't use like the Latin alphabet like they use like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, use katakana, hiragana, and kanji. So already that you arrive to Japan and you can't even read anything, If you go to France and you live in Spain, at least you can read what it says, even if you don't understand it, My father was not very happy about it. He did not want me to come, but my mom encouraged me because, we've lived abroad, and she just said that, it's your life. Even if you make mistakes, even if you struggle, it's okay. My dad said that it would be very far away because also the flights are very long. From Spain to Japan, it's like minimum 15 hours, and that's a direct flight. If you have like a connection or something, it can take an entire day to fly. So he was worried that if something happened to me, it would be very difficult to get to me, and the tickets are also expensive. But in the end, when I got my Waseda admission letter, I just managed to convince him and just show him that it was what I really wanted. So in the end, he ended up accepting. He didn't have much of a choice though. Even if he really said no, I think I would have still ended up coming. They like Japan, but they've never visited. They want to visit for my graduation, but they don't know that much about Asian culture. Of course, I miss them. My first year was very difficult. If I'm going to be honest, I would cry a lot of the time because of homesickness. There's also a 7-hour time difference. I have 3 smaller sisters, so when I wake up in the morning, they're still sleeping, and I'm also the eldest sister, so I just miss my little sisters, miss my mom, miss my dad. I miss everybody, but that's just how it is. When you take a decision like this, you have to live with your consequences, and I'm gonna see them in like summer vacation or in winter, so it's okay. At the beginning, it was very difficult for me to make friends because I used to be very shy, so it was just very stressful, and starting university classes and searching for a baito and trying to learn Japanese. But there were some times where I thought, what if I never came to Japan? But I knew that I would have regretted it if I stayed in Spain, and that even if there's struggles, in the end, if you just push through, and because coming to Japan was what I really wanted, so I knew that in the end it would all be worth it, and now better times are here. And yeah, even if sometimes I miss my family, I don't ever wish I would go back to Spain for university, or I wouldn't have come to Japan. My soccer team, I very much like it. My tomodachi in my ryo or in my university. I also have more free time now, so I just like exploring different areas of Tokyo, just going around, going to different parks, going to museums. My life is and going to, of course, kaiten sushi is one of the best parts of living here. I just love sushi, and kaiten sushi has so many different options of different kinds of sushi, like salmon basil or salmon mayo or something like that. I love those kinds of sushi. My favorite sushi would probably be salmon by itself, but in sushiro they have, or tempura, but in sushiro they have a salmon, basil, cheese, mayonnaise. That one is ichiban. Or ebi to tamanegi to avocado. Oishii. I really like, this does not exist in Spain, demo yakimo and natto. Sweet potatoes in Spain don't taste the same, and they don't sell them like here. You can find the yakimo in like Seiyu or Don Quixote. You can just find them there. In Spain, you don't find that, and I really like them. Also, natto at the beginning it has a weird texture. It's a little bit slimy and sticky, but I started to eat it because it's very healthy, and now I love the taste, and I have it every day actually with my dinner. Mainichi natto tabemasu. Yakimo ichiban yakimo daisuki. I have them here. This is normally ippai arimasu. I've visited many places in Tokyo, but because of my baito and my studies, I've only gone to Kyoto with my uncle for 1 day, and I haven't visited any other part of Tokyo, which is very sad. I've been here for almost 2 years, but you know, my daily life as a Wasara student is very busy, so I haven't traveled that much around Japan, but I really want to. I want to go to Okinawa, I want to go to Kyushu, I want to visit also Osaka. I want to visit Osaka as well. I want to visit everywhere, basically. My favorite Tokyo area would probably be Sangenjaya. Or that, because it's very lively, I really like the shops, the atmosphere. Or when I also went hiking to Mount Takao. I also really like the countryside and the mountains, so that would be another of my favorite areas. Kyoto, demo, only 1 day. My favorite thing actually, I went to an onsen. I really liked it because I've never gone to an onsen. I've only gone to an onsen once. Actually, my dorm here has an onsen, but I'm too shy to go. I've only gone to an onsen in Kyoto, and I really liked it. And I also really liked the food, and we also went to the bamboo forest. Of course, I feel like Japanese people can be kind. One time I was at, and this is kind of silly, but I was at the Yayoi-ken, and I didn't know how to use the ocha machine because it's all in kanji and I couldn't read it. And this lady saw me struggling, and she came and she helped me, and she showed me how to put the ocha machine and also how to get your gohan okawari. She helped me with that, so that was very nice because sometimes as a foreigner, you're very scared to ask because you don't want to look rude or seem rude. So it was very nice that she helped me with that. Japanese people can be kind, but I think they're more polite. Japan has made my life happier because it's always been my dream to come here, and finally living my dream is always a blessing. I have my own life, I'm free, I do what I want to do, I have friends, I play football, I study in one of Japan's best universities, doing the degree that I wanted to do. I just love the culture, and also really love my independent life. Even if I miss my family, my sisters, my mom, my parents, I'm just very happy to be able to live the life of my dreams and the life I've also created for myself. Something I want to do in Japan, I want to do cycling around Japan with bicycle. I want to go all across Japan and explore all different parts, the rural areas, the countrysides, the beaches. I want to do travel a lot. That's mainly what I want to do here. And also through my YouTube channel, I want to help people that want to come to study in Japan be able to do that. I want to help them be able to achieve their dream if like I achieved mine. Watashi wa Nihon ga daisuki desu. That's gonna be it for today's interview. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you learned something about Japan. I hope it was entertaining to you. Leave any questions or any comments you have down in the comments. And if you want to watch my own YouTube channel, want to see how life in Japan is like, or just watch my videos, it's at Clarai Life. It's the same username on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. I also do live streams on Twitch playing video games, and I want to do like real life streams soon. So yeah, just make sure to follow me over there and leave any comments, anything you want to say down here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Adios, muchas gracias.